Hi everyone. So today we are going to discuss why is context important in software design. And I think I've touched on this topic before. Staying in context enables us to gather ongoing experiences rather than summary experience and concrete data rather than abstract data, which is a high level explanation to it. Today I wanted to dive a little deeper into that topic, and I wanted to give credits to um, Horsblatt and Baer for their explaining this very beautifully in their book Contextual Design, which came out a couple of decades back. Um, and the key to understanding um, any task or any work in to design it effectively in a more efficient fashion is to understand the following five things. And that's why what I wanted to give credits to the Bear and Holzblatt for. The flow model, which is a zoomed out view of the organization, the people, the responsibilities, communication paths, and what is being communicated. The sequence model, which captures the strategy, the intent, and what matters to each of those actors or people that are engaged in the flow of context, flow of the content, or the collaboration, or the artifact, whatever that may be. The artifact model are things that people create to get work done, capture the traces that people use to get work done, and capturing this model always includes an interpretation of the intent behind the artifact, and that is why it is critical to understand the context, because intent can only be assumed if you're not in context. So that is a slightly more nuanced or detailed explanation there. And then the fourth one again is the cultural model, which again is a very complex model to understand, because it defines expectations, desires, policies, values in order to accomplish any work, and they are usually invisible and needs a thorough immersion in the context to understand it. And it is usually invisible even to the actors that are participating in it, especially if they are doing it for a long period of time, for several years, or like 20 or 30 years or so. Work has always been done this way in this company, in this context, because they don't know what why that is, right? So you should be familiar with that. Whoever is designing processes and systems and things like that, you would have seen your share of this. The reason being, culture is largely invisible in the context of the work, and that's why context is important, and immersion, thorough immersion in the context, is critical in understanding the cultural model. And lastly, there is a physical model. Any product that is designed to be used where for humans in the context of use of that physical context, or the physical environment where it exists, is also critical to understand that physical environment where it is being designed for. Ignoring this physical environment creates a problem for the users to carry out their tasks. And what is important is that that context of the physical environment usually affects the way a future task can be imagined in the most efficient manner, because otherwise it will create friction when it is implemented in that context. Similarly, culture. You may be able to design something, but when you are doing the change initiative for that, without a proper understanding of the culture, and designing it without the understanding of the culture and the context, um, you might face an uphill battle for the change initiative. Similarly, for the artifact model, because artifacts uh, usually have a large amount of context that is embedded in it, and understanding of the context is critical. Similarly, for sequence model, because you don't understand the intent behind why things are sequenced in a fashion without the context. And fifthly, the flow model, understanding how people choose to sequence things, and how people see things as a macro level in the organization, not just minor sequences, but the zoomed out view of it, of the organization, of the people, of their responsibilities, communication paths, all that. Without understanding the context of all these different things, which is the flow, the sequence, the artifact, culture, and the physical model, and clearly understanding what each of those headers mean to the redesign task uh, is critical in designing something better in a for a future system. So hopefully this is clear to you, and hopefully you found this valuable. And thank you so much for following along today. And until we meet again with another video,